Alright, YouTubers, ODTers, what does an SKS, a regular SKS, and a AK47 magazine have in common? Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Not even the same ballpark. So today I'm going to tell you what I did to convert my plain Jane Chinese SKS to run AK Mags. I got the rifle from a fellow ODTer. Thanks, guy. I don't want to say your username over the net, but gave me ATI folding stock and a Tapco T6 to go with it. I got the rifle, $200. Had a little bit of pitting right here. You know, not something I'm really worried about. I'm worried about shootability and usability, and you know, just something to work on. I like to custom modify guns, stuff like that. Alright, so I'm going to take you guys through the process of what I did. First, chopped the barrel 16 inches. I actually welded the claymore brake on. Took the front sight and cut it about here, here, and here. Took it off the sleeve, put it on top of the barrel, got everything just about right, and welded it. This has got the paint I use too is a KG gun coat. It's pretty durable, but it looks like complete arse. It looks like shit. I would recommend against not using it. Around my chamber area when I was baking it, I had a few white little polyp type things show up, and it was, I mean, they brushed right off, but it was, I don't know, it was just a lot harder to work with than Cerakote. And you can see kind of, that's not even runs, that's just, and I even shook the paint up real good. But hey, you know what, it's under the stock. It's going to get WD-40 on it, gun oil, rem oil, doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the shootability. Excuse me. First thing I did is right here on both sides of the bolt you have rails. All I did was grind that down flush, took that rail completely off, and what I came up with was this. And this will actually fit between the feed lips on the magazine. Or you can do this bolt mod to your bolt and you can put a magazine in with the bolt closed. Alright? That was the only modification I made to the bolt. Oh yeah, the buffer spring. That's the buffer spring. I didn't do anything to it, I just thought I'd show it to you. Okay, moving on. AK47 magazine, surplus, unaltered. You know, I wanted to find the most nastiest out of spec magazine I could so that any mag I put in this thing will run great. And moving on to the trigger mechanism. The spring that I used in this trigger mech, that big spring right there, was a cut spring out of a Stanley stapler. Yes, you heard me right. I know I kind of bent that a little too far than the other side, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. The center pin, I cut the pin out of the center. There's rails inside this, the lower part of this trigger mech. I ground those rails out, and if you look real closely right there, there used to be a spring that went here, and was stopped by a cross pin. I used the back side of my spring to keep tension on that so that I didn't have slam fires. Alright, yes, my cross pin for my mag catch is a little canted. Yes, I know. I broke a drill bit and tried to bub it, and this is the last thing I did, so I was really in a big hurry. It's real simple. Mag catch works just like this. That stapler really had some nice steel in it. I took 3/16 mild steel, put on top of it, welded all the way around, and then ground down with a file to get that perfect fit. That is the only, oh yeah, and I added this box onto the bottom of the trigger mech. That was the box to hold my magazine catch. This was very simple. It took a couple of nights laying in bed thought, but I mean, it's got nice tension on it. It's positive engagement. And I like the idea. I might change the mag catch in the future to something that looks better, but I really like the way that it engages the magazine. Alright, this is what everybody wants to see. Alright, right here, you can see how I made this angle and then radiused up. That was basically to help the magazine, once you rock it in, it's going to help it follow into the receiver. I extended these lips a little bit to get more magazine. And moving on to the receiver. Let me grab my old pen. These are your feed rails. They used to run right down through here. What I did was I took the Dremel and ground them out. Equal length on both sides. Do not cut your freaking extractor. I almost did. Also, I had to take the Dremel to the inside of this mag well and widen it. You have to take your Dremel and push this shoulder back from here to here. That's going to let your feed lips set in there. Right here is the front part of your feed lips. You're going to have to radius this way and this way, and you're going to have to mill at a downward angle. Everybody get a good look at that. That's where the front of your magazine is going to fit. I mean, just a couple thousandths here or there is going to create a lot of mag wobble. My front magazine engagement piece was a piece of square stock welded across here. Yeah, I know I got a little bit of flash rust, so I washed this thing off. I need to throw some oil on it. I took before I put this in, I took my Dremel and I put the round sanding wheel on it, and I just went straight down underneath the barrel, create a good recess right there, and put this piece of flat stock across and then started filing it down till I got that magazine engagement that I wanted. Coming around, it looks a little thin right here in the chamber area, and that's really not true. That's only because I did this. I wanted to add feed ramp for my lead tip ammo, and this will actually feed lead tipped ammo, hunting ammo. I ran a bunch of Tula through it yesterday, and it performs flawlessly. This was about 6 hours of work. And, some people are like, yeah, you could have done better. And, I did this all with a Dremel. And I think I did a pretty good job. There's a good pic of the feed lips cut out. But, that's the front magazine catch right there. I think it did a pretty good job all in all. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And that's really what I wanted to do, and that was my intention. I'll post a link in my description. I actually have the rifle together, and I'm actually putting the magazine in and taking the magazine out with one hand with it on the linoleum floor, and shows you the ease of operation and shows you the positive magazine engagement that it has, and it really does. It works really well, and I'm really pleased with it. And again, thanks Thanks, fellow ODTers, and thank you, YouTubers. I guess you can like my video. I'm really not sure what all that is, or subscribe or whatever. But do whatever you want. Leave comments. Thanks.